You're the best they got. You can email anybody. You type fast. You can sit on a swivel chair and not fall off. Nobody can fill in a birthday like you. Nobody. Nobody knows where those files are. Only you. Only you. You got this.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this one is for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one with Top Shot Hot Boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey-yo. And last but not least, over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer J.D.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. Excited for this podcast. We got a big, juicy up-down report. Some hot topics to throw some thumbs on. And we're going to draft / rank, really, the top 15 players of the NBA Finals, which finally starts tomorrow. But before all that, a little YouTube exclusive to point you to. It's called The Glow Up. Top 5 players on bad teams that could contribute to a playoff team. This was a great question we got. A little mini Beach Step In podcast here, or at least YouTube exclusive, like I said. So go check that out. It's in the show notes if you didn't watch that yesterday. Tass taking us through some guys who could become the next Daniel Gafford or PJ Washington, and so on.
Yeah. Mostly PJ.
What's wrong with Gafford?
Well, we didn't have a lot of bigs. Not a lot of bigs in the top list. There's just not a lot of bigs out there. We'll get to Isaiah Hartenstein being the best big man free agent available. There's just not a lot of big men out there. Not a lot of big men these days.
Before all that, though, we are going to draft the top players in this finals with the Mavericks and Celtics. Now, JD, you're going to decide the draft order because this is pretty important here. Mm-hmm. I mean, you want that number one pick. Though we will do a snake draft. I think that's only fair because maybe the how important it is, like I said, to get that one, maybe two pick. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, and then the guy who picks third gets to pick fourth, and we'll go backwards like that. How do you want to decide this? What do you got for us? A trivia question?
Yeah, it's a trivia question. It has nothing to do with basketball. It's just something that caught my eye on an old website called Rotten Tomatoes. Ever heard of it?
Oh, yes.
And it has to do with the Harry Potter series of movies. Now, this is from RT. Not Russian Today. This is Rotten Tomatoes, just for clarification. The Harry Potter film franchise ruled the box office for a decade, but also managed the uncommon feat of earning certified fresh status for every single one of its installments.
Wow.
It remains one of the most successful movie sagas of all time. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with Harry Potter at all?
I know.
Yeah. He's got a weird tattoo. He's got a weird tattoo.
It's more of a scar. But
okay, sure.
Okay. So, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is ranked number 1. Okay? That's the last one in the series.
Yeah.
Conclusion.
So it's a bit of a gimme. It's got a score of 96. But here's a trivia question that I want to know.
Jeez.
Which movie is number 2?
Ugh.
Now, I'm gonna list them, and you just have to pick one of them. Okay?
Right.
So we got Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, also known as the Sorcerer's Stone, if you live here in the U.S. Okay. That's film number 1 in release. Then we got the Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, the Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix, Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows Part 1, and then Part 2, of course, which is rated number 1.
Right, so take that one out of...
Take that out of it.
Okay.
And I want to know what Harry Potter film is rated number 2?
So who gets
What's the gimme part?
Yeah, what if we all guess the same one?
Yeah.
I have a tiebreaker. So if you want to go that direction,
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
you can.
Man.
Yeah, Trey's already got his answer.
I feel like Trey's got an advantage here. Yeah, he knows Harry Potter the best.
Okay.
So you go first, TK.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, directed by Alfonso Cuarón.
I have to...
Azkaban.
I'll be honest, that's where I immediately went to.
Okay.
I feel like that one... I mean, I feel like I've seen 15 to 20 minutes of each of these movies on TNT. They're always on.
Exactly.
Always on.
Yeah. You're right.
I'm also gonna go with that one.
Azkaban. Okay.
Yeah, I am. So maybe we'll get to the tiebreaker.
Yeah, just rely on Trey. That's a good move.
Yeah.
I'm going. That's probably the right answer, but I'll just Goblet of Fire it. Just
You're gobleting of fire. Okay. Well, we have a tie.
Yeah.
Tass, you're out.
That's fine.
Unfortunately.
Tass is
Goblet
picking
of
third.
Fire. Great guess. That's number 3.
Ooh,
So you were very close.
Okay.
You were very close. Tiebreaker.
All right.
Which film is rated the worst?
Okay.
And I have a tiebreaker for this too, so if you both want to go the same.
I'm going to
that's
go,
fine.
I'll just guess right away. The Phoenix one.
Phoenix?
Yep.
Great.
Number 5, huh? I'll go number 2, Chamber of Secrets.
Okay. All right. Now I have to do math. Okay.
Because we didn't
So
correctly pick
neither
it.
of you are correct.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. So, Skis, what'd you say again?
Phoenix.
The Phoenix?
When we asked you to do this, I literally
pick
thought
a
you were going to say
number.
pick a number
I'm here to
between
do
one
that.
and
No.
Total box
I didn't
office.
realize we
What
were
did
going to
they
go
make?
after
Okay.
every fucking Harry Potter.
So we had
movie.
Phoenix, and then Trey, what'd you say again?
Number 2, Chamber of Secrets.
Okay. Skeets, you got it. That's the second worst. So
What was the worst?
You win.
What was worst?
number 1.
Yeah.
Deathly Hallows Part 1. Because it was kind of a half a movie, right?
Oh, geez. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Well, that's
All right.
fascinating. So the worst was part 1, best part 2.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Still rated 77%.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know, it's
Gotcha.
good. Yeah.
Okay, so I have the number 1 pick.
You got the number
Did
1
we
pick.
figure that out?
Congratulations.
Did we figure that out? Okay, we got other things to figure it out before we get into this. Hopefully it doesn't take us long. How are we're going to each pick 5 guys. So we're going to build, 15 total, obviously. How are we going to decide who's the winner? Are we going to add up like fantasy points, game score totals, anything else you want to pitch? Those to me seem the most obvious, just picking one of those. But what do you got?
I don't really have an answer to that. Whoever has the champion team, whoever has the best player on a champion team. Like if you have Luka
that
and the
makes no
Dallas
sense.
Mavericks win, you win probably.
No. What? No, this is like we're drafting like
I know
the
we're
guys
drafting
near the
5
near the
guys.
end are more important than the guys at the beginning, probably.
Yeah, I guess. if we're drafting by game score, I suppose maybe that happens.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Well, if the top 3 guys wash each other out, then yeah, picks 4 through 6 or 7 through 9 are going to be pretty important, are they not?
Yeah. Will Luka and Tatum and Brown and Kyrie wash each other out? Probably not.
Maybe. What do you want to go with? Fantasy points or game score? Let's just decide.
I don't know. Fantasy points. Because
Okay.
nobody uses game score.
Okay. Fantasy points. We'll just use the NBA.com. I think they even throw it maybe in their box score.
People are still doing fantasy now?
People are still doing fantasy.
I would imagine it's even bigger than ever. Yeah. DFS? Come on, bro.
Oh yeah, daily fantasy, huge.
In the
huge.
finals?
Oh,
It's bigger
God.
than ever? Come on.
Okay, and what are we?
Gambling is big nowadays, I think.
Gambling, sure.
And what are we playing for?
Not coming in last.
Okay, so
That's the only thing that's cool.
Yeah.
What? The winner gets a cowboy hat? Sign me up.
Why is everyone so pissed off about this? Holy shit! All right,
we're
rip
just
it up.
drafting players.
Rip it up.
Yeah, we're drafting players.
Well, we need some stakes. I thought maybe like we're all
You don't
going
want
to
to
summer.
lose. You don't want to lose, or you have to eat something.
Well, I was going to say the loser's got to pay for our summer league meal or something like that, because we'll all be there for Vegas Summer League.
Sure.
It's the company card, guys. Who cares?
sure.
Just throw it
Exactly.
out.
Put on the company
So we're not
card.
paying for it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Play along. Come on. Tickle the imagination a little bit. All right. So I got the number 1 pick. Give me Luka Doncic.
Yeah, good.
Tough one.
Yeah, good
Tough one.
stuff. I win apparently if the Mavericks win. All right. I got Luka. Trey, you were up second.
Jason Tatum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy.
We're going to fly here at the beginning. I think it'll get a little more interesting. All right. Tatum goes number 2. This is right now. I think people will be debating, are you going Kyrie or Jalen Brown? Tap?
Yeah, the great thing is it's a snake draft,
You
so
can
I
take
get
them
both. Yes, absolutely, I get both. Who will I pick third and who will I pick
Yeah.
fourth? I'll take Jalen Brown third.
Okay.
Although,
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, because he literally could have the best stats, whatever we're playing here in fantasy stats,
Yeah, sure.
of the Boston Celtics. Could, potentially. Anyways, so it's pretty easy. Brown and Kyrie.
Okay. Back to Trey with the 5th pick.
All right, so to me, it comes down to Drew Holiday, Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, that seems
5th
like
pick.
the pool, yeah.
Do you get fantasy points for 3-point percentage?
I don't know.
Yeah, see? Nobody
must.
knows.
So we should have went game score. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I don't like game score. I don't even think Basketball Reference likes game score.
They put it in every single one.
Yeah, but they never talk about it.
No, they don't.
They never talk about
John
it.
Hollinger created it, I think.
He created PER. Did he create game score?
Yeah,
Let us know.
I'm pretty sure. he did.
Yeah, he's more proud of PER. I've noticed. Give me Drew Holiday, but it's a tough call. I'll go Drew Holiday over Derek White.
That was you were going back and forth with?
Yeah.
Yeah. Drew Holiday coming off a huge conference finals, though.
Yes.
But yeah, Derek White, I like I'll go Derek White, number 6. I was going to pick, obviously, whoever you didn't take.
Yep.
I love the idea that we've seen him like catch fire from 3. You can have big games from distance. So I will take White at 6. I have the 7th pick. Obviously, Porzingis is there. Porzingis, I'm a little afraid of to pick, if I'm being honest. We don't know, obviously, the injury aspect of it all. Does he get limited minutes? Does he tweak it again? Are you right back to Al Horford? And should I just pivot and go with like a Mavericks player? I think the Dallas Mavericks are going to win this series. Shouldn't I take like a PJ Washington or a Gafford or a Lively?
You should.
I should. You're right. I should have some guts. Give me PJ Washington. I'll take PJ at 7 over Porzingis. I'll probably come back to bite me in the ass, but that's
struggled
what I've got.
recently. He was hot to start this.
Well, he
season.
was cold in the first round, hot in the second round, and then he sort of definitely cooled off in the conference finals. But I like the pattern I'm seeing there. So give me PJ. I got to take the Chevy Trax himself, the Chevy Cruze, whatever he is now. I can't remember. So Porzingis is still on the board. Back to Trey.
I'll go Porzingis.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play. I think he's going to be fine.
Okay.
Yep.
He's had a long time off.
Yes, he has.
KP, maybe the steal of this draft right there, where he's sitting in the 8th pick. Okay, number 9, Tass, you got 9-10.
I got 9-10, so it's a smart move to take somebody from both teams. Ooh-wee. So tough, but I will take, oh gosh. From the Dallas Mavericks, you automatically think, all right, one of the starters, it's Derek Jones Jr. or Daniel Gafford, but Lively is just sneaky there. He's sneaky, puts up stats, and the other side is Horford with Big Al, may play a lot. I've got to put Big Al on there.
Whoa!
Large Al, huh?
I definitely thought you were talking yourself, I thought, into Lively there.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking another Maverick.
Okay. So Horford is your pick, though, at the 9th spot. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
The other side, oof. You know what? I'm going Derek Lively.
Yeah. Lively over Gafford.
Yeah, Derek Jones Jr. also available.
Yeah. Okay, Trey, back to you.
I'll go Gafford.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he is still the starter.
He is.
He's not as good as Derek Lively, but he starts.
That helps. He puts up stats. He gets you numbers.
He doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss. Well, neither of those guys do, I guess. Lively actually hasn't missed in the 4 games in the conference finals, right? What do you go, 16 for 16? Okay, back to me. Who's left? We got Derek Jones Jr.
Yep.
We got Peyton Pritchard.
Yep.
We got maybe a Josh Green. Maybe you want to go Hardy. Maxi Kleba. Maybe a sneaky pick. So these are my 2 final picks. I'm going to go Pritchard. I'm taking Pritchard here. And then I guess so the last starter left is Derek Jones Jr. I have to take Jones Jr. Yeah. Give me Airplane Jones with my final pick. Leaving Josh Green, Hardy left, Maxi Kleba, and anyone else you want to talk yourself into. Sort of end of rotation guys. Back to Trey.
I don't have a lot of Mavericks on my team yet. Got Gafford. That's it. So I don't know. Is it going to be Green, Hardy, or Kleba? I think Kleba probably plays the biggest role, but I'm a little nervous seeing how that guy played in the conference finals. People tried to tell me he looked good. I disagree. Hardy, though, he was on fire.
Yeah.
Celtics don't have a bench. They got one guy on their bench. I mean, they have Pritchard, too, but they really have Horford. They have one trustworthy guy on the bench. I'll go Hardy. It's exciting.
Hardy.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Jeff Hardy.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, is he gonna
2 for you.
Is he gonna get burned? No, I just
No,
got
just
one
one more,
left
man.
for
This
me.
is it.
Yeah, so it's Green, Kleba, Hardaway. Oh, Dante Exum, he's alive. Sam Hauser putting up points over those. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Sam Hauser to hit some shots.
I hadn't really thought about, because we were talking about it the other day. If the Celtics win, we think they might win in blowout
That's a good point.
sort of scenarios, and that could mean these guys like Hauser getting more minutes. Like if it's like a big lead and they suddenly wave the white flag and like, okay, Sam Hauser gun away for 7 minutes in a blowout. That could help you. So you're taking Sam Hauser over Green, over Maxi Kleba, and Dante Exum. You threw in some other guys there. Okay.
Yeah.
Hauser. So let's recap those teams. My team is Luka Doncic, Derek White, PJ Washington, Peyton Pritchard, and Derek Jones Jr. Trey Kirby, take us through your team.
I got Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, Daniel Gafford, and Jaden Hardy.
Oh, damn. That's solid. Especially
Very
like
solid.
Tatum could. Luka's going to get monster numbers, but Tatum is he's filling the box score. So like, he could be battling Luka for the number one overall for sure. So that's a good team.
Sure,
Okay,
yeah.
and to ask your team.
Jaylen Brown, Kyrie Irving, Al Horford, Derek Lively, and Sam.
Sam
Hauser, I can't believe he got selected. My goodness.
Yes, there's question marks with the Mavs. Obviously, one of those Greens or Klebas, maybe Tim Hardaway, maybe John Texan will be good. Sam Hauser, he's the eighth man of this Boston Celtics roster.
But
He's going to play.
I don't know that he's going to play.
He has not. He
play.
can't hit a shot right now. He finally hit one. Maybe he's saving it all.
Hey, it's a tough last pick, The last pick was a tough one.
100%.
Number
100%.
15.
All right. So, what was on the line? Pulling out the company card.
Pulling out the company
at
card.
Vegas over Summer League
Gotta
to
find
pay
mine.
for the meal.
I don't. Cass might have to, though.
Yeah, gotta find it.
Okay. We got some news leading into Game 1 on Thursday night. Kristaps Porzingis is expected to return to action for Game 1 of the Finals against the Mavs, barring a setback. This is league sources were saying this yesterday. Shams was all over it. Porzingis completed multiple scrimmages in recent days. This is not a real surprise. We had been thinking that, he's probably going to go. And we were hearing like whispers at the end of the conference finals, like, hey, if it goes 5, he might return. They don't need it. He gets even more time off, like another 9 or 10 days. So here he goes. KP Game 1 on tomorrow night.
Yeah, we've been waiting so long for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. I also wanted this report to come out with the detail as to whether or not he was starting, because we knew he was coming back. We knew he was on that bike. We saw that video of him getting up on that bike, putting some weight into that stationary bicycle. That being said, the interesting part for me is not how he'll do shooting the ball. I think he's going to come off shooting the ball extremely well. The interesting part will be him guarding Luka and Kyrie in space. Now, I do think the Celtics are going to have whoever is guarding those guys fight over screens and try and guard him primarily so Luka can drop off. If he's the one being called into screens, they're going to try and get whoever it is, whether it's Drew, Jason Tatum, or obviously Derek White or Jaylen Brown to help out more so. Because I think offensively, Kristaps Porzingis is going to be good. I went through every single time that he was out 4 weeks, and now this is a lot of weeks. This is 5+ weeks since he played on April 29th. He's going to play on June 6th. I went through this year, it was only 2+ weeks where he was out. He came back. He was great. Now, there was a wild one a couple of years ago when he was a Washington Wizard. January 29th was when he played. He was out until March 6th. So very similar to this, April 29th to June 6th. He was great. So if you want
when you say he was great, like
numbers,
in his first game or like the first week?
No,
like,
the first game.
Oh,
shooting the ball.
Okay.
Played very well.
Okay.
I think he scored 25 when he was a Washington Wizard, and he went from January 29th to March 6th, just like he is here from April 29th to June 6th. This is a playoff game task. That doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. He's been out for several weeks many times in his career, so I do think that bodes well.
He's got experience.
How many times has this guy been out? 4+ weeks.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I guess
Jeez.
so. I just saw the one, but it's 5. It's literally 5+ weeks.
It's got to be a lot.
Because that's a friggin' long time.
Yeah. But you were sort of contemplating, or you were like, we didn't hear it officially from Joe Mazzulla's mouth whether or not he'll start, but he is going to start.
Of course.
Yeah.
This is gamesmanship. Well, we've just all been waiting for this game. And all we hear is Kristaps is playing. Or Kristaps is working out. I shouldn't say Kristaps is playing. I watch all this tape. I would like a further addition, an addendum, something to say, hey, this dude's starting. Otherwise, it's just these boring stories. Because we knew he was going to play.
They asked him if he's 100%, and he played a little coy.
Well, that's
with
the
it.
thing.
Yeah.
Tass went back and looked at the Washington Wizards. I grinded the interview tape. That was a long pause after, is he 100%? Good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
They asked him, can you run pain-free?
Interesting.
Yeah. It was long.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I mean, you.
Is it gamesmanship or is he sore?
That was long.
Right?
I thought you were going to talk about.
Crazy long how long he was waiting to say his status based on this. He obviously hasn't played for April 29th to June 6th. He's going to be sore, and he's going to have to run all over their court. I kind of side with you, Tass. I think this is them playing it close to the vest, trying to be like, oh, am I even coming back? Am I even going to be good? The guy's had a month and a half to prepare for this one game.
What is funny about
and
all
prepare
of this,
for the interview. Why would he take so long?
He took forever. I wasn't even putting in regular ellipses. 3 dots? No, not enough. I was going 6 to 7 dots easily.
What's strange, not strange, but like, obviously he's pretty important, we think, to the Celtics' chances of winning a title. I mean, I've been saying it all season long. I feel like it hinges on whether KP plays and he's healthy and he's good and all that for them ultimately winning. But they're so good without him. Like, they were like 21-4 in the regular season without Porzingis. They're 12-2 overall. I mean, some of those games did have him early on, but like really, really good. Barely lost when he wasn't playing in the playoffs. So I just like, I almost like he's in a tough spot in a weird way. Because if he comes back and you're playing a really talented Dallas Mavericks team here in game 1, whatever, the first couple of games, and they lose or what happens, everyone's going, oh, geez, he ruined the flow. Oh, my God, we should have stuck with Al. And that will happen. I think that's going to be a story that spins out of it if they lose here or they struggle or whatever. So, yeah, he will. I think he'll start. It just means we didn't draft Luke Cornett when we were doing the top 15 players. We definitely didn't draft Xavier Tillman. Like, with him there and with Al, like, all the minutes are played at the center position, barring another setback or another injury to either of those guys. They have their center for 48 minutes, one of those two guys. So that's good for them.
Big Al, big minutes, for sure. It's not going to Cornett. It's likely not going to Xavier Tillman. And one thing Al Horford did say was that after just playing, 14 games? Math, yeah. 12-2 through the first 14 games. He made the comparison to 2 years ago when they went to the finals and they had to go through 2 7-game series in the second round in the conference finals to get to the finals. And he basically said, we were kind of gassed.
Right.
Okay, the old man was, for sure. Al Horford was getting older. He was gassed. So he made that a big part of his interview to say that this is going to feel better for him specifically. For him. So he's going to play a lot. I will say one thing about Kristaps Porzingis, because we got to read into stuff here, because that's what we do here with all this time off. He did say he was going to play in the finals and then play to try and get Latvia to qualify for the Olympics.
Right.
So I guess that means he's in good shape.
Right.
Or maybe he's just talking to his countrymen, because the tournament that he's in before the Olympics is in Latvia. So I'm trying to sell tickets here. But I don't know.
Shout out to Riga.
Shout out to Riga. Yeah, Riga, Latvia will be hosting a tournament between Georgia, Philippines, Latvia, Brazil, Cameroon, and Montenegro. So
when do those pre-qualifying tournaments for the Olympics start? Late June?
July 2nd in Latvia.
Wow, so it's
July
right
2nd.
Before the Olympics, basically. The Olympics start late July.
It's early, yeah.
Wow. All right.
How about this? Porzingis comes back, tweaks his calf in the first 6 minutes.
Sure.
Can the Celtics still win the finals?
That's a great question.
I have to say no, because I've been running with that narrative all season long. So I just have to dig my heels in. But obviously they've proven that they're a really good team without him. I just went over the numbers. And Al Horford is more than capable, but he can't play 48 minutes, and Porzingis' size, you brought it up, the defensive part of this is taking away those lobs, and obviously if they're doing drop coverage and all that, still getting in the head of Luka and Kyrie when they're going in there. He's important defensively, KP, and he's a really good post defender. He's one of the best in the league. So I guess I will say no, because KP has a huge advantage, I think, the three-point shooting to pull out, to maybe play Gafford off the court a little bit too. Who knows with Lively the second? I think he can get out there because he's so young legs and stuff like that a little bit better. But we talked about Kleber, maybe there will be a role if KP's stretching the floor. But I don't like their chances without him. If he's down in the first 5 minutes of game 1, no, not really.
I still think they can win. I know it's slimmer chances, that's for sure. But Jason Tatum also wants to avenge how bad he was in the 2022 finals. He just wasn't good. And then he lost last year in Game 7 in the conference finals. He's got to have a way better finals.
He hurt himself in that game, did he not?
Yeah, in the conference finals, yeah. But he was bad shooting-wise against the Golden State Warriors in 2022. He wasn't good. So he has to avenge that. Jaylen Brown looks damn good. They have to avenge that. So if you put those top two guys as a wash with Luka and Kyrie, let's just say, the Celtics have a better 3-4-5.
Right,
they just do. Drew Holiday and Derek White, and now it's going to be Al
You're
Horford.
saying Porzingis or not, they still have it, yeah.
This is, I think they can, obviously. They can.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think as long as nobody else went down, they could probably do it without Porzingis because, I mean, come to the finals, you're only playing 6, maybe 7 guys. Realistically, it would suck to lose Porzingis, but as long as Horford is still out there and Pritchard is still able to play, I think the Celtics would probably still have enough.
All right. Game 1 tomorrow night. We're nearly there, guys. We're so close to actual basketball again in the NBA. But let's get into the up-down report.
Prepare your movies. It's the up-down report.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Play along live on YouTube, podcast listeners. Tweet in your thumbs at No Dunk Sync for all of these. First one, the Los Angeles Lakers are zeroing in on JJ Redick as the front runner to be the franchise's next head coach. Now, no final decision has been made yet. The Lakers still have steps remaining in their head coaching search process, and we're hearing that this likely won't come, this news, until after the finals. JJ Redick calling the finals on ABC, but indications are strong that Redick is their leading choice.
Zeroing in.
Yes, thumbs up or thumbs down on that terminology. The Lakers zeroing in on JJ Redick as their next head coach. What do you think?
I think he's going to be their next head coach.
Yeah.
I think you can 100% in on this one because I think it's very funny to see the way this is being pitched. Like, okay, they're getting close with JJ, but Anthony Davis, he's really bonding with James Borrego.
Cool.
Does he have a podcast with James Borrego? I don't think so. So yeah, I think that JJ is going to be the guy, most importantly because he has buy-in from LeBron James. They're doing a show together. You got to have relationships with your stars. If JJ's got a relationship with LeBron, he will therefore have a relationship with Anthony Davis as well. Equally important is the roster, and the Lakers don't have a good one. They have LeBron. They have AD. They'll probably bring back Austin Reeves. Everything else is going to be a question mark for this team, so it's going to be tough for JJ, especially because the best shooter on their team is going to be their coach. They were 24th in makes per game last year, 28th in attempts. JJ, of course, is 20th all-time in makes, 18th in percentage, and they need shooting. The Lakers literally need shooting, and JJ Redick is going to be sitting there on the sidelines like, oh, come on. If we could run this play for me,
Come on, I would have hit that.
I would love a dribble handoff from LeBron or AD to hit one of these. So yeah, very ironic, but yeah, I do think JJ is going to be the guy, and we'll see how it goes. A broadcaster becoming a coach, it has worked. Yeah. Worked for Steve Kerr. Yeah. Worked for Doc Rivers. Didn't work for Derek Fisher. Didn't work for Jason Kidd retiring and immediately becoming a coach. Right. It's a mixed bag, to say the least.
Yeah. I'm definitely up on this. It seems like this is going to be the one, and I do think LeBron, because of his career, has earned to pick the coach, essentially. And I do think that he is a huge part of why this is happening. I know the Lakers are coming out and saying it's not just LeBron, but this guy has been in the league for 21 seasons, and he has been good. And so him to pick the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers just for the next couple of years, but because with the way it's going to be there for a long time if things don't bode well, it is ridiculous to look at every single franchise and see how quickly they turn over coaches now. But Redick is liked by LeBron. They talk strategy on their podcast, and that is going to happen on this basketball team. That strategy is going to happen again. And
can it happen without the mics and without the cameras on you and the wine flowing? Or maybe the wine will still be flowing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question. Will the wine still be flowing? Will there be a sponsorship for JJ Redick's wine or LeBron's wine? Who knows? It helps to get LeBron's approval. The fact that they've got Mike Krzyzewski in the front office, this Duke connection to help him in some way, be a sort of a consultant with JJ Redick, I guess that helps. The fact is, he's going to be a coach for the next couple seasons. It sure feels like.
Next couple seasons. I was just going to ask you, what would you put on the over-under for years of JJ Redick coaching the Lakers? Like, what would you set the line at? 2.5?
How much longer do you think LeBron's going to play?
It's a big part of it, for sure. Because this is being spun. You hear, like, the Lakers are seeking a coach who has the potential and staying power to be their head man for the long term. And I think that's like, they're doing that, we're getting those reports because what you just said, it's like, LeBron's picking this guy. And that means LeBron's going to stick around for a couple of years. So they're trying to say, no, we're looking for a long-term coach. We're looking for a Pat Riley
Our next
like
Pat
coaching
Riley.
prospect. Yeah, that's what's being thrown our way. And then in addition to all your cliches of like someone that has, the respect of the locker room and can hold guys accountable and all that coach speak and can structure this organization. Like, yeah, duh. That's what you want in a head coach. But I do find it funny that they're trying really hard to be like, nah, this is not because he does a podcast with LeBron. And that LeBron wants it. This is because we think this guy.
not that.
And he might be. You went through it there a little bit there, Trey. Former players who basically went right into coaching with no experience, like no assistant coaching experience. I guess JJ Redick coaches his son at the youth level. Jason Kidd, Derek Fisher immediately became head coaches following their playing days. Kidd went 44-38 with the Nets in year one before he jumped to Milwaukee, and Derek Fisher went 17-65 with the Knicks, and then he would last like 55 more games in the next season before he was canned. Steve Nash, he took nearly a decade off, but he did become head coach of the Brooklyn Nets without any full-time assistant coaching experience. I know he was like a consultant there for a little bit. He went 48-24 in his first season with Brooklyn, and then he lasted one more full season, and then he was gone like, 5 or 6 or 7 games in the next season. And then the gold standard is Steve Kerr, but he was a general manager of the Suns, and that was a big gap too, and he took over for the Warriors, and, well, that was a huge success. They went 67-15 in year one, won the title, and then just kept going back to either Western Conference Final. Well, they went back to the finals every year for the next 4 in a row and won 2 more titles within that gap. So, mixed bag here. Who knows? I mean, I said it the other day, I was like, I don't think we know anything with these coaches. Like, of course he could be a good coach. He knows basketball. But will the rest of the locker room, will there be rolling of eyes if they feel like, oh, it's like whatever LeBron wants to do? Or maybe they're like, yeah, we should do whatever LeBron wants to do. Because what you were saying, I mean, seriously, part of that, they're almost like, it's like he's like an assistant, really, to Redick as a head coach. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be important to see who actually JJ hires as his assistants. Like Phil Handy is probably a guy. I've seen Rondo kicked around as a name who could be a coach with the Lakers because he was also a guest on JJ Redick's podcast at one point. I love that. You could just go through the list of people who have appeared on his show and see if they're going to coach. I also don't know what his coaching tree is considered, right? Like Steve Kerr, yeah, he's been awesome. He played for Phil Jackson, and he played for Greg Popovich. Yeah. Those are great guys to learn from if you're going to become a head coach in the NBA. The most notable coaches JJ has played for, Coach K, of course, never coached in the NBA, but eventually became good at recruiting these guys out of high school, once he had to get into the one-and-done era. And then Doc Rivers and Stan Van Gundy are the coaches he played under the most. So I don't know.
Yeah. Never won at all, obviously.
Yeah, will Stan Van want to be an assistant, or will he want to continue the broadcasting as he's doing? I have no idea what the coaching tree looks like. It's totally true. If he's a good coach, he sticks around for years and years and years, I suppose. If not, goes back to running a media empire, I guess. And I wonder if he keeps the media, the podcast going while he's coaching. Is that allowed to continue to have a podcast with LeBron James while you're head coach of his team?
Allowed, yeah, but I don't think it'll happen.
Right.
He's probably going to be busier.
Yeah.
100% busier. 100% busier.
I would pause the podcast personally if I'm starting as an NBA head coach.
If anything, take the podcast in to your NBA coaching gig. And what I mean by that is during the break between the first and second quarter, when you get the little coaching interview, maybe throw in a little plug for BetterHelp, throw in a little plug for some mattress company that's come on. I'd love to see him do that. Also, I want to see him coach in a backwards hat, or bring back the full suits, JJ. I feel like he's talked about that before. I thought he had a thing on, everyone's just wearing these polos and the zip-ups. Maybe let's go back to the days where coaches were in a nice suit. I'd like to see him do one or the other. Backwards hat, be funny. Or a full suit. Or both, maybe. He'll do both.
Ooh, I don't know. Backwards hat with a suit? No way. He should bring back suits, but they also do Viore ad reads quite a bit on Old Man and the Three, and I don't know if I've heard an Indochino yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's wearing a suit during his broadcasts. No ties, though. So I guess he will go tie-less if he brings it back. But you guys think when LeBron retires, JJ Redick's run as coach of the Lakers ends?
No. I mean, this is LA we're talking about. You don't last long. You don't have a long leash. That's why I'm like 2.5 years feels like that's where I would set the line. And I'm almost like removing LeBron from the equation. I'm taking the under. is what I would do, because this is the NBA, and like
that's what you're saying.
you get like 1 year, you get 1.5 years to like prove that you're like a really good coach, or like have the support of obviously the front office or your locker room and stuff like that. Like it's just so fickle, and yeah, who's to say he's like, God, man, I miss podcasting. Holy crap, was that easier. Man, I miss sitting and talking with Mike Breen and Doris Burke every couple of days and getting paid handsomely for that. Like, so.
Well, yeah, does he get the same job back? As far as ESPN goes. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, maybe.
Or LeBron retires, buys the Vegas team. JJ, come and coach.
Well, you did call that before all of this, and like they got ahead of you. They're like, why wait to Vegas, Trey Kirby?
Yeah,
come coach the Lakers, man. Let's get it going early.
Get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
Darvin.
All right. Anything else on that?
I think that part of the reporting on this as well is that a decision isn't going to be made until after the finals. JJ's going to call the finals.
Yep.
So there's going to be an opening for the number 1 spot on ESPN's color commentator alongside Doris Burke next season. They should bring back Jeff Van Gundy for that.
Jeffrey. Sure. Well, I like the idea of, I'd like to see Richard Jefferson. I think we talked about like maybe injecting a little more humor into the Breen and Doris sort of pairing, and I feel like he could play that role. But Jeff,
that's why I say bring back Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah.
Not Stan. You don't have to bring back. No. I mean, not Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
Just Jeff.
Jeff, Doris, and Mike.
Just
gotcha.
Jeff.
Okay. All right, let's move on here. The NBA has announced the start times and schedule of the 2-day 2024 NBA draft. ABC and ESPN will broadcast the first round on Wednesday, June 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern, and then the second round will air on Thursday, June 27th, beginning at 4 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the app. Up or down on these announced start times for the 2-day NBA draft coverage, which we knew about, but now we're going Wednesday, Thursday with an earlier start time there on Thursday.
Yeah, there's a date change, that's for sure. We thought it was going to be Thursday, Friday. We thought both would be at 8 p.m., but I'm still up on it. What they're doing is trying to increase the importance of the draft. They're trying to copy the NFL to some degree. Now, they did move it 1 day earlier because of what's going on the presidential debate on Thursday night. I don't think they want that to rival the first round of the NBA draft, but I'm good on it because what they said was the front offices now have a longer span to make some deals, basically. And so I think that will happen because we don't see a ton of second round deals, and I think this will increase it a little bit more. So I don't see why I'd be down on it, really. Yeah. Previously, at least, teams had 5 minutes to make picks in the first round and then only 2 minutes to make their selection in the second round, making it maybe difficult to facilitate trades, but they are now going to have a longer window. I think it's going to be 4 minutes they're going to have there on the Thursday afternoon in the second round. And a full day in between drafts. And, of course, the full... Yes, that's right. Well, not a full day. They wanted a full day. That's the only thing. From 24 hours to 20 hours. Whatever. 20-hour difference. Up or down on this, TJ? I'm down. Okay. On the whole 2-day draft coverage? Yes. Yeah. They should have waited a year to do this if they're worried about the presidential debate. There won't be one next draft season. They're basically telling you don't watch the second round of the draft. There's no point. They're putting on at 4 p.m. during the week. That's 1 p.m. Eastern or West Coast time. Nobody's going to watch this. They're telling you the second round, it doesn't matter. And honestly, have you ever watched the second round of a draft? It is so boring. Oh, gosh. So they're burying it, kind of. I think I will say, I'll only push back on this. If Bronny James Jr. is still on the board come Thursday at 4 p.m., he hasn't gone in the first round, might be some intrigue for people to be like, well, who's going to take Bronny Jr.? That would be the only reason. That maybe draw some eyeballs. Yeah, but the people will be at work. That's a good point, too. Yeah. It will be 1 p.m. Pacific time. Some basketball geeks will watch, but it won't do good ratings, that's for sure. To me, it's more about trades. There may be some more trades because of more time. So that's all I care about. I don't care about watching Taco Bell commercials. Of note. I mean, unlikely. These are basketball geeks. We're all basketball geeks. Every diehard wants an additional trade on their team for their team to talk about. Okay, but this is a television show. This isn't for diehards. This is supposed to be a ratings thing. That's what we're saying, that they're going to 2 days to make it a bigger event, and they're making the second part of it a non-event completely. So only the diehards will watch to see if Jordan Bell gets traded for cash considerations. Right. Exciting. Right. Yeah, possibly. Or you could have some sort of first round pick or something deeper, like somebody good just happen because there's more conversations happening. There could be better trades that happen, is all I'm saying. But yeah, the watching Taco Bell commercials in the second round, it ain't gonna be all that exciting for people. I agree.
I believe too the first round is at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Okay, that's where it has been held before at least. And then the second round is being held at the ESPN Seaport District Studios in New York. So it's not, it's not going to be in the big arena. It's not going to be in the big stadium. The second round, which makes sense because we're saying, you would have to be the ultimate sicko to go to the second day coverage in person. I'm saying it's one thing to watch it on TV, to have it on in the background, but to go and sit there, woo. So I don't even know if there'll be tickets. I don't even know if you can go watch the second round. Is what I'm getting at in person.
Right.
Probably not.
Interesting. I wonder. I guess we'll miss out on those like random moments when some dude who thought maybe I'll go at the end of the first round gets drafted number 40 and comes down from the crowd to meet Mark Tatum. Gonna miss that big time, man.
Oh yeah, and I guess for a positive way in the NBA, you won't get guys who thought they were going to get drafted even in the second round. And sometimes cameras will see those guys that are there. Or they thought they were going to get drafted in the first round, and sometimes they will pan to those guys, and they're just sad because now they could be drafted in the second round. Like there won't be any sad moments.
Well, why
and
not?
I guess that's a positive.
Why not?
For that.
What do you mean? At least it was one night where you found out. Now, if I think I'm a first round pick, maybe I'm going at the end of the first round. They show me I'm there. I'm not getting picked. Now I got to come back to the ESPN Seaport District Studios on Thursday?
No, I don't think they may not even have players there.
Oh,
it'll just be less of a thing.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching the second round. It'll be less of a negative thing. Where is this ESPN Seaport studio?
I think it might just be there. I don't know. I think it's their New York studios, like ESPN's New York studios.
Yeah, where they do get up
where they do
for
a
the
majority
morning
of these
show.
shows. Yeah.
But where will it be?
I'm sure
I mean,
it's studio space there.
Right on the Hudson.
Oh,
I guess. I want to know what the broadcast is going to look like.
You'll be the only one tuning in to find out.
I guess it is. I guess it is the get up, exactly where they do get up, that kind of thing.
Probably.
First take. But I just want you want to know about trades. People want to know about trades. Not that I'm tuning in.
You don't give a shit about the 42nd pick has been traded down for the 51st pick in future consideration.
Well,
you
that's
don't
not
give a
good.
shit about that.
That's not a good trade. I want a name of a player. That'll be more interesting. But we could just see a actual trade that matters.
Okay. Maybe. Hopefully.
Or maybe not.
That's what we want to talk about. All right, next one here. The Dallas Mavericks have signed general manager Nico Harrison to a multi-year contract extension. Harrison, who was a longtime Nike executive before joining the Mavs, has completely overhauled this roster for this Dallas franchise that was struggling to get out of the first round for basically a decade, and now here they are in the finals. This is a bit of a softball one to you guys, I assume, but thumbs up or thumbs down, Tass, on the Mavericks signing Nico Harrison to a multi-year contract extension.
Sure, this is positive for the Mavericks because they gave Jason Kidd an extension before round 2 when they won that series. So maybe this bodes well. Maybe they'll win the NBA Finals because of it. But also, the team that they played in the conference finals, Tim Connolly, president of basketball operations in Minnesota, is also sticking around for another season. Mm-hmm. He has come up with a deal. I don't know who he's negotiating with because the ownership is battling over who's the owner. So who does that contract happen with? I guess the guys who signed him, I think it's Laurie and Rodriguez most likely. But anyways, in both...
I think it's Crunch.
The mascot.
Yeah.
Crunch the mascot.
He gets final say right now.
The steward right now in between. The only one who can trust.
We know he ain't going
I'm not taking sides. I'm just a fan of the team.
Connolly comes back. He can still opt out next season, which is strange. But anyways, I just say that Connolly, Nico Harrison, running both those teams, they both are in a similar scenario where they think they're going to keep the exact same team next season, really. I think Minnesota's still going to run with everybody they have. I think they're not trading Karl Anthony Towns. And the same goes with the Mavs. They basically are locked in. Like Derek Jones Jr., yes, he's a minimum contract. They got to figure that out.
Right.
But they basically have the same team coming back for next season. So I think that bodes well. If you're a Mavs fan, don't watch round 2 of the draft. You're not going to care about that. But you care about this, your roster is going to be basically the same. Other than a Morris brother leaving. Yeah. So that's it.
Thumbs up, TK?
Oh, yeah, thumbs up. But the Mavs did get Jalen Brunson in a second round once upon a time.
Damn, we got to be watching.
But guess what? Nico Harrison lost them.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. Let him walk away.
It's true.
But it ended up working out.
Yeah.
Nico Harrison's nailed everything except for letting Jalen Brunson go, except for signing Grant Williams, who they got out of the Grant Williams business. And guess what? That worked out as well. And that, to me, is the main thing. He has really done a good job of the ownership advantage. Like, The Mavericks are clearly bought in on doing everything they can to maximize Luka Doncic's championship window, and that means paying up with first-round picks, even if they make a mistake. They had to figure out a way to recover from the Jalen Brunson leaving in free agency. They traded for Kyrie Irving when his value was very, very low because of his off-court nonsense. They realized Grant Williams wasn't working, so we're going to pay up to get P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford. Who cares if we don't have picks in the first or second round coming up here? We're trying to win the championship right now before Victor Wembanyama really comes on. So I think great stuff for the Mavericks to be able to lock down Nico Harrison. And more importantly, it shows you that even though they just had their ownership change hands during the season, this team and this whole franchise is completely all in right now. And that's all you can ask for if you've got one of the greatest players on your team.
Yeah, it's a great point. And the Mavericks GM, Nico Harrison, he has brought in 10 new faces since losing to the Warriors in the 2022 conference finals. He did it by trades, Kyrie Irving, P.J. Washington, Daniel Gafford. He did it in the draft. Derek Lively II was a huge one, obviously, there. They did a nice tank job to get him. Omax Prosper, Jaden Hardy, and then free agents, Derek Jones Jr., Dante Exum, A.J. Lawson. Now, Markieff Morris, he came over in the Kyrie trade, but then they re-signed him that in September. So however you want to consider him, either a free agent or coming in through a trade. But 10 new faces basically around Luka, like you said, as the guy. That's pretty impressive. So well-deserving here of the contract extension, and we'll see if they can close it out here in the finals. Next one, this one's fun. According to Yahoo Sports, Jake Fisher, Knicks center Isaiah Hartenstein is going to get paid this summer. League executives are projecting Hartenstein will be able to draw at least $80 million and perhaps upward of $100 million from a team hoping to steal him from the Knicks. Up or down on Isaiah Hartenstein as the best big man available in free agency, TK, and then you can debate whether or not he will get that type of payday. What do you think? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
I think he's definitely the best big man that is a free agent because it's basically him and Nick Claxton. I'll take Hartenstein, but if you live in Brooklyn, maybe you're going with Nick Claxton. You like the switchability there, but I think Hartenstein proved he could be the anchor of a defense when Mitchell Robinson went out, and then Hartenstein stepped up. The Knicks remained a good defense. Robinson comes back. We're still rolling with Hartenstein as our starter. He can hit the offensive glass. He can hit the defensive glass, passes the ball a little, catches lobs, shoots an ugly floater, but it goes in a lot.
Yeah.
So I think he's definitely the best free agent out there. Like Jared Allen, maybe you consider him available since he's going to be a trade target for some teams, but outside of Claxton and Hartenstein, it's like Jonas Valanciunas, Andre Drummond, and my favorite bargain bin center this summer, Goga Batadze. Big board Batadze.
Right.
But I think this is a pretty easy yes. Hartenstein is the best big man who is readily available. You just have to beat the Knicks, who can offer 4 years, $72.5 million. Will Hartenstein take another discount to stay with the Knicks, the team that really, really made him? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, he definitely was made by this team because this was the first season that he started most of his games, and that was because Mitchell Robinson was hurt.
Right.
And he looked great. And then in the playoffs, he really earned his paycheck because he was awesome offensively. He was great from in close, but then the push shots came, and he was shot 60% from 3 to 10 feet, and even further, 10 to 16 feet, he shot 53%. So that offense is important. Not just for him, but for his teammates in creating space at the rim, because you got to cover this guy beyond the free throw line. And so offensively, yes, Nick Claxton is a better defensive player, but Claxton is just an interior type of guy. Like, he shot 43% from 3 to 10 feet this year. So that's way better from Hartenstein. And although Claxton is good defensively, I think you can buy in to the Hartenstein story here, because he has become, there's very similar ages between him and Nick Claxton, and he's just become a great player. Like, I don't think he's going to get 100.
No.
But he should. He will probably earn a little bit more from somebody outside of New York. Like, somebody will offer him something like 20 per. That seems to be Jakob Pearl gets that. Vucevic can get that now.
Yeah, it's a good point. Some people are probably rolling their eyes right now, like, what? Isaiah Hartenstein's going to get 20 to 25 million per year? But when you go through some of the other centers and what they make, it's not that far-fetched. I mean, like, Brook Lopez, 24 million, Capella, 23 million, Miles Turner, 20.5 million, Vucevic, 20 million, Pirtle, nearly 20 million, Nurkic, 17.5, Zach Collins makes 17.5. It's like, Isaiah Hartenstein's a better player than some of those guys I just listed. So is going to be, especially with the cap going up. Yeah, probably ballpark what we're saying, 20 to 25 million. It's just like this idea of like, will he want to leave the Knicks, who can only max out at a certain number? If that, like we said, what'd you say, 4 years, 72.5 million the Knicks can offer him because of his bird rights? Like, 80 million from another team, maybe it's like, no, I like playing with these guys. I like what we got building here. But if a team comes in way over the top in the $100 million range, it's like, we're talking a huge amount of money for a guy that hasn't made a ton in his career. Very difficult to turn down for anybody. And maybe he leaves. I don't know who that team is. He's always being linked to, like, could the Thunder want a guy like him? Sure. I know he was, I think in the article Jake Fisher wrote that he nearly signed with the Magic. They have a million sort of big guys, so maybe that's unlikely. Detroit's been linked to him. Other teams that see him as maybe a piece moving forward, but we'll see.
I'd rather make $72.5 million from the Knicks than $100 million from the Pistons.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Monty Williams says no, but everyone else maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and the Knicks offered him more than the Clippers did.
Yeah, right.
And so that's how they snagged him. And so I'm sure he's happy that he was able to go into the postseason. The postseason was a big part of why he's going to get paid more. And the fact is, like we just went through, the competition as far as centers goes in free agency, it's really Jonas Valanciunas, Nick Claxton. Jared Allen is a tradable guy, I suppose.
Yeah. He's 2 years, $40 million.
But he's signed, So who knows what the Cavs do? And then you're getting into the Gogas, I guess.
You're getting a Goga.
All right, next one, final one in the up-down report. Rasheed Wallace believes his 2003-04 Detroit Pistons would have beaten the 2016-17 Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green, guys, you're not going to believe this. He disagrees. He tweeted earlier this week, "Sheed, we would have smacked y'all. Y'all was scoring 72 points per game. That's not winning a half. And we putting you and them big-ass forces in every pick and roll." That was pretty funny. Let's see you move them feet. That one ring was great, though, big bro. We all appreciated it. So, up or down on Draymond Green saying his 17 Warriors would have smacked Sheed's 04 championship Pistons. Thumbs up.
Sorry, I have to agree with Draymond Green here. But look, I also thought that the 04 Lakers were going to beat the 04 Pistons. It didn't happen that way.
Right.
But in the 2004 season, Detroit made 333 three-pointers for the entire year. In the 2017 season, Steph Curry made 324 three-pointers. They also had Kevin Durant.
That's amazing.
They also had Klay Thompson. Like, I literally don't think that the Pistons would be able to score enough to keep up with the Warriors, and I don't think their defense is going to be all that compared to this Warriors team that spreads everybody out.
I guess Rasheed thought that they also have the tough gene a little bit more than the Golden State Warriors, I guess. But like you just went through, putting two eras in the same conversation is really sort of pointless. The game has changed a big time. So I'm up on what Draymond is saying. I'm down on having to do this again. It feels it's pointless. It is totally pointless. I do agree with Draymond's tweet. There's nothing incorrect about Draymond's tweet. I agree with Sheed saying, "Man, we were awesome. We won the championship. What are you gonna do?" It was just a different time. They were the best team in 2004. They beat the Lakers.
Yeah.
But 17 is just so friggin' different. And the whole tough gene, well, you got Draymond. He's pretty tough. I think they have enough toughness around them to get it done.
I was wondering, like, how did we get to this? Like, why was Sheed suddenly saying they would have beaten the Warriors? And I thought it was him starting this conversation, but no, and I should have known this. It was Draymond on Shaq's podcast debating how his Warriors team in 2017 would have handled Shaq and Kobe's championship Lakers team. And that led to Draymond sort of hitting the Pistons with like a stray shot here. And this is why Rasheed Wallace then caught wind of that and was like, hold on. Forget you saying you were going to beat the Lakers championship team with Kobe and Shaq, that Warriors team. You wouldn't have beat us. That's how we got here. And then it was the back and forth. But yeah, as good as that Pistons team was, as great as they were defensively, I'm sorry, you still have the two best players in Curry and KD. And like, I've heard Sheed like try and say, well, how would they stop Billups? Like the size and Rip Hamilton running around screens. Like, okay, but then he was trying to convince me like Tayshaun Prince would have lit their ass up. And that's where I was like, come on, man. Like he was quite adamant that Tayshaun Prince was a very underrated scorer You know, I think he was like maybe a leading scorer when he played at Kentucky and all that. Like, he was good. Maybe he like could have done more. But like, when we're comparing him to Kevin Durant at the position, basically, it was like, oh, no, I got to stop you there. But smacked, maybe not smacked, but I had the Warriors, the 16-17 Warriors beating the 03-04 Pistons.
Well, look, I think the 17 Cavs would beat the 04 Pistons.
Okay.
Who gets suspended first in that series, Sheed or Draymond?
Yeah,
That's good. Who?
What are the rules?
Are we playing 03-04 ball or are we playing 16-17 ball?
Yeah, it was a different time.
Yeah,
that's why they thought that they could just grab Steph. I'm sure Sheed is thinking, like, you could clutch a little bit more. You could
for Sheed to be right. Like, if you want to like get to that point, you got to be playing 03-04 style basketball.
And that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Right. Where they can really basically just take out Steph Curry, because of their physicality.
So who gets suspended when they take out Steph? Because that would be their goal.
I guess for that reasoning, I guess Draymond will be my answer, because they're going to get physical with Steph, and come on, man, you got to back up your guy.
Yeah,
and it's true. Usually the guy that sort of retaliates after the initial action. So I would go with Draymond being tossed first.
Yeah, I agree.
That's probably right.
Like when he choked Rudy Gobert this season, I don't know why someone hasn't photoshopped Rasheed Wallace's face onto Rudy Gobert's face. I mean, that's a great question, right?
Good
Somebody's going to do it.
Gonna put someone will now. All right, fun topics there in the Up Down Report. I know you're playing along in the stream team, but everybody listening to the podcast, everybody watching later, drop your thumbs up or your thumbs down for all of those. Before we go, tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Oh, got a couple of tweets of the night for you, and it comes from Hulu on FX's Clipped, or whatever they're calling this show.
Yeah, Clipped, right?
Clipped on FX's Hulu on FX. I don't know, full branding on it. It's the story of the LA Clippers, and people were loving the casting of the Steph Curry character last night, who most people were calling Steve Curry, and saying that it looks exactly like Dak Prescott as GP is cooked, Brandon said on Twitter last night.
Looks a lot more like Dak Prescott than Steph Curry, no doubt.
Absolutely right. They got his jersey right, though. Also, that basketball looks tiny. There's no way that is a regulation size
I was like, is that a Lord of the Rings like depth perception thing? But I'm with you. Like, that seems like a smaller basketball. Maybe this actor is quite small, and
it would make sense to use a smaller ball, so like you can do cooler dribble tricks with it, I guess. People are also loving the Blake Griffin character, as Mike Vicarian tweeted. What people don't know is that Blake Griffin went on to perform at Just for Laughs. That's true, isn't it?
Yeah. He did.
This guy. That's incredible.
So you were saying people were
Walton?
It does look like Fred Katz a little bit. You were saying people were calling the Steph Curry looking like Steve, or calling him Steve Curry. There was a lot of, instead of Blake Griffin, fake Griffin. I was going around for this.
I was going to say Jake Griffin, because it looks like he's wearing Jake from State Farm's outfit. As well. This looks like, what was that guy's name in Girls? Ray?
Yes.
They got Ray to play Blake Griffin. Weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, episode 1, White Party. Doc fights chemistry problems created by Donald's favoritism and harassment. The fragile love triangle between Donald, Shelley, and V combusts when V refuses to stay out of sight. Attendance is mandatory at the Labor Day White Party. Right now, it's got a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb. IMDb ratings to me are the game score of internet content ratings. Nobody has respect for these IMDb ratings. I only trust Rotten Tomatoes and Letterboxd. I did see it has 4 out of 5 stars for the debut episode, though, on Vulture. Vulture's doing full recaps of Clipped.
I will admit, every tweet I saw about this show that premiered last night got funnier and funnier. Like every screen grab you see, and like some clips that people were sharing. I'm intrigued that way. But I saw a lot of people, TK, saying, I lasted 5 minutes and that was it. Like, I couldn't watch anymore. But I'm excited to fire it up. Like, I want it to be bad in a weird way. I think it'll be more funny. Like, obviously more hilarious to talk about.
I was at a swim meet late last night, got home, checked the internet, saw this picture of Ramon Sessions playing Steph Curry. I was like, I gotta see this show. Went to turn it on. It was 49 minutes. I couldn't bring myself to do it, but I'm going to do it as soon as I get home today.
Okay.
Locked in.
You got to get clipped in before the final start.
Has one episode come out? Or
I think two.
Maybe two? I don't know.
I think they did the two. Yeah.
49 minutes. Thanks for that. Not too long. Not a crazy long, because that would turn me off a little bit long. Yeah, it's fine.
I was hoping for 32 minutes, though. If it was
Yeah,
32
you're-
minutes, I would have watched it. Instead, I watched some recipes. But man, JJ Redick, this guy's on the broadcast, getting hired to coach, and guess what? He's in Clipped.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's a JJ Redick character in Clipped as well, because he was on the Clippers back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is that a fictional story about the white party?
No, that's
real.
That's real.
Wow.
Yeah. You don't remember that?
I don't remember.
We knew about. I remember that was talked about back in the days when all this was going on. Even Donald Sterling, weirdo, big ass weirdo, man.
That's a weirdo.
Yeah.
My sister texted me about it. You gonna watch this? What? You're gonna watch this?
Wow, clipped.
Ken's locked in.
Can't wait. All right, we might have to be talking about clipped in the summer. Great tweets there, and again, everyone about this show looks funnier and funnier. I mean, the Chris Paul looks funny. We obviously have seen Lawrence Fishburne as Doc. I guess Ed O'Neill is playing Donald Sterling. I saw a tweet going around that Ed O'Neill too hot to play Donald Sterling. I was like, wow. I did watch a little Married with Children last night. I fired it up.
Too hot.
I was like, wow, young Ed O'Neill.
Hot Ed.
Hot Ed. All right, we'll call it there. Thanks to everybody for joining us live on YouTube. Thanks to all the podcast listeners. Next podcast comes on Friday. Okay, that'll be in your feed. Obviously, recapping Game 1 of the NBA Finals. That's the Drop podcast on Friday, live at 10 a.m. on YouTube as well. But tomorrow, the plan is on YouTube, basically like a Game 1 hype stream and whatever else we want to get up to. Just kicking it live at 10 on YouTube. We got a bunch of other topics that we didn't get into the up-down report. We can get into those, but maybe look at some prop bets for Game 1. Whatever. You got an idea? Let us know. NoDunks@theathletic.com. Tweet it in at NoDunksInc, but we'll be live tomorrow on YouTube. And then the Drop podcast on Friday. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Do you think he's in? Clipped?
They got Jonah Hill to play that guy. That'd be the best casting.
Oh my God. Just at the end of every Clipped episode, that Jonah Hill saying that would be...
No, I'm a charismatic guy.
And he loves vodka. That guy loves vodka. There's a vodka product placement that's happening on Clip because of that guy.
Brace the day, people.